I'm Nikki Glazer, and I am absolutely thrilled to be your host tonight. Thank you. To say this feels like I finally made it. You know, I'm in a room full of producers at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, and this time all of my clothes are on. So yeah, it was worth it.
Nikki Glazer has been announced as the 2026 Golden Globe host just like 25 seconds after hosting the 2025 Golden Globes. That, my friends, is an evergreen headline that you could just pencil in for the next 10 years. Nikki Glazer will host the Golden Globes until Nikki Glazer says no. That's how well she did. That's how much she smashed it. Nikki Glazer has, in my opinion, officially jumped into the blank check territory of Hollywood. That woman is going to do whatever she wants. Nikki's been around forever, been hilarious, true New York City stand-up, who like as one of the early females has really gone through like the ringer, worked her way through it. She's had a serious show, she's had podcasts, she's done specials, and then after, I don't know, she's probably been doing that for 20 years. It's funny how much the levels of like breaking out there are. Like Nikki Glazer was already a successful star, but the Tom Brady roast sends her on a whole other level. However many tens of millions of people watch that roast, she absolutely smashes it as one of the best people on the dais. And all of a sudden, every article the next day is, who is Nikki Glazer? And it's where she's from and what her background is, and a whole new audience learns about her. And then at that point, you think like, all right, Nikki knows, everybody knows Nikki. Nikki Glazer has arrived. And then she does the Golden Globes, and leading up to it and in the days after, more headlines. Who is Nikki Glazer? And then they just add the roast onto her resume. And it's funny to see how many, there's just so many people in the world. Like, what you think you have a lot of followers, you think you've gone viral, you got a lot of views, you made a lot of money, you think like, I've made it. And there's just whole sects of the population that just still do not know you at all. And every time you do these things that are nationally televised or on the main streaming channels, you just find a whole new pocket of fans. I think the sky is the absolute limit for that girl. She's always been genuinely funny, and there's always the female comedian angle and funny for a girl, or you talk too much about sex. She's a killer, man. She was known for roast stand-ups and roast in general, but was always like a real comic, very funny. And then, became this podcaster, host, talks about her sex life, and then she went sober, and all very like compelling, intriguing stuff, and just keeps on going. And when you start at a young age like that and grind your way through it, she is now poised. I think she's probably the same age as me, late 30s, ready to just have the back end of her career be whatever she wants it to be. After just smashing the Globes, which was, in my mind, there was no doubt about it. But, you never know. We had Joe Coy last year, which was an absolute disaster. In his defense, he said that they gave him the gig in a matter of he had a month to prepare. I think Nikki Glazer had a year to prepare. She said she was obsessively focused on it, and there was really no doubt in my mind she was going to absolutely destroy it. She's she's a comic, but she knows pop culture. She knows all the people in the room. And what I thought was very interesting was she didn't go the route of the Ricky Gervais, I'm going to make fun of all the Hollywood elites. That's been done, and it's overdone at this point. There was a time where Hollywood had their head up their own ass. They always have, and they always will be. It was the political acceptance speeches and the, holier than thou talk and the woe is me and all that shit. And people did want to see celebrities get roasted and taken down a notch, and Ricky Gervais was great at that. But at some point, it's we all love movies and television and entertainment, and this is, we're here to celebrate it. What are we doing tearing it all down? What is the point of that? To be able to be funny and be a little bit cutting and biting, but not tear them down, I think is she really threaded the needle on that one. As good as it was, she went immediately to Howard Stern the next day, went to the after party, slept for an hour, hit Howard Stern in the morning, and that's where she read some of her the jokes that did not make the cut. Now, I can understand, again, the room you're working is one where you're not in the comedy club, right? You can't say everything that comes to your mind because it's a time and a place for everything. But some of the stuff, the jokes that she pulled were would have absolutely brought the house down. So let me run through some of these ones that she mentioned on Howard Stern. That first one, the joke that did not make the cut from Nikki Glazer. I saw Joker 2, and it reminded me of the first Joker came out, and I was in the theaters, and I was afraid someone was going to shoot it up. And then during Joker 2, I was really hoping they would. Joker 2 is one of the biggest disasters, biggest failures in movie history. The way that Tim Dillon, who was in the movie, was like, this is the biggest piece of shit of all time. The story Tim Dillon told about being on the set with like a cameraman and a grip and like a behind the scenes guy, and they were just looking at each other being like, oh, this thing is gonna absolutely stink, is hilarious. The thought that those guys, they thought they made some like piece of art with the Joker and his psychological like craziness and the singing and Lady Gaga and the entire world collectively was like, this is so bad, get it off the face of the planet. Unbelievable. Joke number 2, Glenn Powell is nominated for Hitman. Who would have thought that by the end of the year, you'd only be the second hottest hitman in America? She should have let that one rip. That one, I can't believe how much the world loves Luigi. I think that we've all lost our minds a little bit. Apparently I'm in the minority, at least on the internet, where people are out of their fucking minds. The amount of people who are like, this guy's awesome when he just flat out murdered someone in broad daylight is crazy. And that she could have got away with that. Like, ordinarily you would think, oh, you can't say that. I think that would have got cheers if she did that, which is absolutely insane. But I guess that's where she draws the line. If Adrian Brody could go back in time, he would thank baby Hitler for his career. I was thinking the same thing. Adrian Brody loves him some Holocaust. I mean, that is his wheelhouse. It's like Denzel has his, I'm the man on fire. I'm like a bad guy who is kind of like in retirement, but you brought me out of retirement. I have to kill everyone because you're messing with my family. That's his lane, You have everybody kind of has like their thing that they do. Adrian Brody's Holocaust. You're making a movie about the Hitler slaughtering people. I'm your guy, and I will crush it. Good for you. That nose, by the way, woof. Amy Adams is nominated for her performance in Night Bitch, while I was totally snubbed for my performance in Day Slut. So that one she should have let go, because that's just making fun of herself. I thought that would have been a nice little self-deprecating moment for her. The Wild Robot is nominated tonight, and by that I mean Nicole Kidman after 2 white wines. That woman, something's wrong with her. You know how they say AI can't get the hands right? Nicole Kidman is like some sort of human AI hybrid. Her hands, her fingers are like the Grinch. Like, she is not a real human. That girl, something's up with her. Denzel Washington is here. The only thing that has convinced more middle-aged men they could pull off an earring than Denzel Washington is cocaine. Kate Winslet is a lot like cocaine. She's white. She's always with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I can't wait to find her at the after party. Again, I think that's a good one. I think that's more making fun of herself than anybody. Daniel Craig is nominated for his performance in Queer, which is a movie, and not just what my Uncle Chucky calls Wicked. I think that would have been fine as well. Nicolas Cage is here tonight, looking well rested after a night of sleeping in Elvis's coffin. Funny because it's probably true. Nicolas Cage probably spent like his last money on Elvis's coffin. Right next to his dinosaur bones and like his wizard hat and staff is Elvis's coffin. Michael Keaton was so great in Beetlejuice, and Alec Baldwin sadly did not come to play as a ghost because he's too busy making them. That would have got a great groan from all of Hollywood. The amount of nobody would have had the balls to laugh or cheer or clap, but it would have got and it would have been a moment. The film Anora is nominated for 4 awards tonight. It's been called the most unflinching look at sex work since Matt Gaetz' Payment History. That would have played in that audience. You get the Hollywood liberals out there, that would have gotten cheers and a goddamn ovation. Squid Games is a show where people starve themselves while ruthlessly competing for the ultimate prize. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, that's this show. That would have been her Ricky Gervais moment. That would have been, all right, I'm taking my shot at the stuffy, materialistic world of Hollywood, and it would have gotten some groans there. When this is your cutting room floor, man, I mean, she just smashed it. I knew that the moment I knew her monologue was great. The Pope song was a little bit like a little bit ambitious, and at points I was like, I don't know, but she handled that well. The moment I knew she had that room in the palm of her hand was when she called out to Adam Sandler doing the Timothy Chalamet bit.
Your name sounds like something Adam Sandler would say. No, Chalamet. Timothy and Chalamet. Oh, yes, Timothy Chalamet. I think Sandler's here. Sandler, can I get a Chalamet?
Hey, Chalamet!
Oh, Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet! And like when you're hosting and you can just call out to Adam Sandler, who's worth like $500 million, one of the most beloved guys, most famous guys, when you can just be like, "Hey Sandman, give me a Chalamet," and he's like, "I got you, girl." I mean, talk about work in a room. One of the great performances, and that girl, whether it's hosting, roasting, her own show, streaming specials, whatever it is, blank check for her. And yeah, this whole segment should be called Nikki Glazing. I get it, but really nobody doing it quite like her, and it's very well deserved for a person who grinded it all the way out. So get ready for a lot more Nikki Glazer in everything that you see on your television. So shout out to Nikki, job well done.